All right, my name is Andrew Peggs, and I'm the PR and editor in chief at Marooners Rock. Can you two introduce yourselves for our viewers?
I'm Erin Zipperle and CEO of RollACrit.
And my name is Conrad Pflumm. I'm the COO of RollACrit.
What can you tell me about RollACrit? Since I have known it's been around for just a little bit, and many of you are previous ThinkGeek employees.
Yeah, so we wanted to keep the spirit alive by starting a company that really focused a lot more on the tabletop side of things, where there's a lot more human interaction anymore in this space. And so it was something that was underserved that we saw as ThinkGeek ended up getting acquired by GameStop, and then has since, not been really around, I guess. We kind of saw that there was going to be a gap in the market. We wanted to keep doing what we were doing. We're super passionate and always have been about serving this community, and we're very much parts of it ourselves. So it's a lot of fun. So why would we want to leave that to go and be doing anything else? And when it came to trying to build product, we were looking at the video game space and we're looking at the pop culture space, and since then it's been very flooded. And so as board gamers ourselves, we were just wondering how we can get more product other than dice in our house. And so the best answer we came up with was to go make it ourselves.
Oh, with many of the products, so what was your first RollACrit product that you introduced to the masses?
Well,
if you do remember what that is, though.
I believe so. So it was Heroes of Arcadia.
Oh, was it Heroes of Arcadia your first
Arcadia.
thing? Okay,
Yeah.
Seeing your stuff, I seen like the merch, like the shirts, the other little small items. If I remember on the site, you also did sell dice and other things as well.
Correct. Yeah. And so with being at ThinkGeek, it was a lot easier being publicly traded to have, to kind of have the gambit to do whatever we wanted to do. Now that Conrad and I are, we started RollACrit, and it's owned by us. So it's very employee owned in a lot of ways, and we want to keep it that way. So we don't have the financial backing to start making a bunch of hardline products and storing them. So we do have a spattering of a lot of art, shirts, and kind of the humble beginnings of what ThinkGeek was too, is starting with t-shirts and dice and some accessories that we've launched with. But our prime way of at least getting out to the masses now was really just through Kickstarter. And so our first big step out into that was to complete Heroes of Arcadia as an April Fool's Day joke from 2016. That has become the full-fledged Heroes of Arcadia it is now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, we're hoping to bring a lot more hardline product and softline product to the market as we start finishing up and wrapping up the projects we have going now.
Yeah, and as I've seen on social media and everything, you are planning for Gen Con this year, if I'm correct.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Would you be planning anything for Origin? Even though I think didn't that just pass?
That just passed.
So Origins,
Did-
Origins just passed. We actually were lucky enough to partner with Double Exposure to get our game demoed there, even though we weren't able to travel because we were, we're very in the weeds, making sure that we're ready for Gen Con being their official store and all. But also because we are going to have a RollACrit booth there as well. So we'll be able to experience that from the inside of the hall this year rather than the outside. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to see people just sitting down and playing Heroes of Arcadia, even in the time right now where trying to figure out how to demo a drinking game with liquid and stuff like that during some of these restrictions gets to be a little unique and out of the box and creative. And they've been great working with. So we're excited that we were there.
I can always joke that, hey, maybe next year for like PAX East or PAX Unplugged, you all get like a Acquisition Inc. or something. It's like, hey, do this live on stage. Heroes of Arcadia.
I wouldn't rule it out.
No. Yeah.
That'd be an interesting panel. It's like, hey, we all know you're gonna go here. Check out this product.
That'd be great. Yeah, no, I mean, PAX Unplugged is great because that's our local show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're here. We're in Delaware right now. So I mean, Philadelphia is just 30 minutes away. It's our show, and so
then, even though how the camera is, like, so if you're right here, like I'm right here, I'm West Virginia myself. So
okay.
it's like a 5-6 hour drive, give or
Yeah.
take. Yeah, like I mean, a few people are trying to plot of, okay, should we drive? Do we want to be lazy and fly out and be there in like 30 minutes if we fly out, or go ahead and do the 5 or 6 hour
You get
drive?
the check-in time, all that, even if you have TSA, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Plus, you got to bring all the
And
board.
there's so many
You need a
stories.
car. Yeah.
and then
Right.
the toll booths in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned the hard way a few years ago of how expensive some of the toll booths are because 2016, 2017, when that snowstorm hit all of the northeastern,
Were you stuck in that?
I got stuck in New York City for 2 days. And then a friend drove
That's an
from West.
expensive place to get stuck.
Yeah, $300 for just a couple hours of sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm actually from New York originally myself. Erin's from New Jersey, so we're very familiar with the Northeast and some of the costs of living here.
One friend drove from West Virginia all the way to New York City, and then he told us, he's like, it's like a $40 toll just to get into New York City. I'm like, wow. And then when we got to Pittsburgh, it was like $2. I was like, okay, where did you get $40 that way? But it was $2 at the end of that turnpike. But no, let's say it was an interesting experience in New York City, especially when we got into New York City and the random person who asked us if we wanted some items in front of cops.
Oh, yeah.
And
We
me,
got
but that's
the
the-
cops.
me
that's
and
the
my rider
story.
just looked at each other, went, yeah, let's go the other way.
I mean, if you flew though, you never would have gotten a chance to experience the things that you did, right? So
That's right.
Oh yeah. I have to joke with them. It's like, we should just go over and check out the Nintendo store. I really want to see the Nintendo store, but that's when the storm was hitting.
yeah.
But no, I want to go to New York City, but on better circumstances.
Yeah.
But no,
And-
my next thing will be PAX Unplugged if I'm aiming for it. December of this year.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
2 or 3 days. I can't remember the exact dates. So many PAXs
The
happening.
first weekend of December.
Because right now PAX West is about to happen, then PAX Rising online, and then PAX Unplugged.
Right.
Rest in peace, PAX
Well,
South.
yeah. Well, we're hoping to be at PAX again this year. So, if you find yourself over there, definitely stop over and say hi.
Oh yeah, I will be sure to. With even though those of us backing and those who've seen the Kickstarter and everything, is the aim still for the September, October for some of the backers, for those listening and watching that have backed that game?
Yes.
Yes.
I will say yes.
So
So,
so far
everything
from what
is-
I've seen, your things are going okay. It's really going steady. That with every other week is, hey, we're already here. It's like that is going very quickly.
Yeah, we've been, it's kind of been like it was a hurry up and wait scenario from the Kickstarter ending to where we are now, because there was a lot of logistics that needed to go on, plus a lot of complexities and stuff that just
Especially
happened
with
because of the
COVID
world
and everything going on. So that's
Oh, yeah.
understandable if anything went on. But
Yeah,
as much progress as
and-
have you all done, I'm like, okay, this is going really smoothly. Knock on wood.
There's a lot behind the scenes that has just been a lot of sleepless nights of getting this to work, because we like to, and as a company, we want to make sure that we under promise and over deliver on everything we do.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we were trying to do with this. I'm glad that we have some patience with people that were looking forward to it in March, but understand what's happened. But from our Kickstarter ending, we're actually starting, what was it, we're in the middle of it right now. It's June 7th, right, that we launched it off. Containers were anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 for 40-foot container, and then it shot up to 28,000. And now it's kind of just hovering around like 20. So it's really great. But we prepared and forecasted for a lot of the mistakes that were going to happen, because there's just mistakes that are inevitable in making product, especially making a board game that's not a traditional board game. There's a lot that the factories we're working with have not been familiar with, though they have an extensive resume of really well-known board games that they've made, because most of this is plastic. You have plastic cups in there, there's PVC plastic cards, and everything's cut in certain ways, and there's nothing traditional about it. And so there was a lot of sending things back. There's tons of revisions, lots of quality control that we wanted to make sure that we hit, because again, we're product designers before we're game developers.
Yeah.
And so when it came to the product side of the thing, we wanted to make sure that when people got something in their hands, it was quality. We already know the game's quality itself and the gameplay, so we didn't have to worry about that. But just making sure the rest of it was buttoned up so that everybody was excited to get it when they had it in their hands.
Oh yeah, just like you guys, like I said before, it's one thing I've been keeping an eye on. Like when I see you all send a backing update, since I am a backer, that's one thing that's like, ooh, okay, this is some nice progress and everything. This is really going well, and especially like with how you present things, like how you have the banner showing like was that half a coin, whole coin, no coin, things like that. I was like, okay, that's nice to, hey, you're at production right now or post production and getting other things lined up. But back to like how you were talking about the shipping containers, that is fully understandable as someone who's backed way too many games. Yeah, she keeps telling me to stop backing stuff. We don't have room for it. She just won't
That
like.
doesn't sound familiar at all.
I know.
Yeah, let's just say one thing I backed was I got an email the other day that me and like 200 others, ours are going to be delayed because they some of their staff left the company, so they had to get other people trained. So it's like, okay, that's understandable. At least you told me what's going on, why I'm at a month delay, instead
Sure.
of just going, it should be here right now. But no, even then, like I had seen some companies like, hey, we're going to be 2 or 3 months behind because the pricing containers, and when COVID was like being really serious, everything was skyrocketed. Like I think someone posting it, hey, they're wanting 50 or 60,000. So we're going to try to collaborate with another Kickstarter who's also looking for a container just to lessen the cost for all of us.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, and aside from that, China shut down a lot.
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. And so all factories, at least that we were working with, since most of ours were plastics, that shut down for months. So the months that we were delayed, even though we had the issues we had that we've already accounted for, those are the issues. We couldn't assume that China was going to get shut down again.
Yeah.
But all the issues that we did foresee, that's what we were hoping, that we already forecasted that in for a March release. We're like, well, I think we could pull it off with March, even with some of the issues that we're going to have in production. But yeah, we couldn't account for the shutdowns. Material costs all went up, so it's hard to source. PVC went up, paper and pulp went up, everything went up. But
yeah.
But we secured a lot of that pretty early, right after the Kickstarter, and so we were lucky enough to get a lot of that locked in before all that chaos happened. But then we just had to sit around as we were waiting, for China to reopen to get the rest of the stuff out. And we figured there's so many people, and it's all over the news. There's so many Kickstarters saying the same thing, that we didn't want to send something out every week, giving the same news. So we're just like, you definitely know what's going on, but once we have some sort of news to give you, we'll give you some new news.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say this. Those of you watching or listening, if you back a Kickstarter, all I say is be patient. you see the world now, just
We
be
appreciate
patient,
that.
and it's
Sure.
going to happen. That's all you can say. You're going to be happy at the end product, no matter what you've backed.
And that's why I feel bad for anybody who's making their first product right now through a Kickstarter, because it's definitely quite a big learning curve for the first time making something now. And even though we're a new name, because of a lot of us came from, ThinkGeek, even us, and we're seasoned in making products, ran into issues that we haven't seen before. So it's just a different terrain out there all in all. It's a whole different beast, and everybody hears the same thing, but it's gone from some delays to disruptive completely. But we're fighting through it and trying to figure out what products aren't being disrupted as much, so we can start focusing on those next and coming up with some more stuff as this game's finally released.
Right. And away from the Kickstarter bit and everything, what is going to be the overall aim for RollACrit as a brand? Since you're focusing on tabletop, like I said earlier, you have some clothing, you have dice. I can't remember if you'll have as well, like other merch, like I'm trying to get not dice bags, to roll your dice in and whatnot.
Yeah, so we started expanding into some of the lifestyle brand stuff like home goods with we have all over print pillows and blankets and notebooks, and we have the dice mats and containers as well, for, like you said, for rolling. And there's some of that stuff that we also designed for Heroes of Arcadia with like the dice tray of heroes and whatnot. But a thing that's really helping us to get into what we want to do actually is our partnership with Gen Con, because having a lot of product and being able to source a lot of collectible items and things like that has helped us to kind of look into some different avenues. And we really want to be able to provide those pieces that, as Erin said at the beginning, in pop culture and video games are just everywhere. Like you can get, all of these cool statues and glasses and commemorative things in that space, because there's so many people in there playing that game already and trying to make a name for themselves. Ultimately, we just don't see that happening as much in board games, and that's really where we want to expand into. The big challenge, as he said, is a lot of it is that because we're completely self-funded ourselves, and we've had a lot of success with Heroes of Arcadia. We've had a lot of success by being lucky enough to get to partner with Gen Con and Asmodee for Catan. That's a lot of the places that we've been spending most of our time, because we're not this sprawling company yet. But as we're growing, we're actually getting to be in places now. We just got off a call earlier where we were just hitting our brainstorm stuff, and like all these fun, cool, kooky board game things that we've been wanting to make are actually getting to a place now where we can spend time making sure that we can invest in it and source it and see whether or not this is something that's really going to continue to grow in that lifestyle space of board games.
Right.
With other conventions, are you going to be aiming for any other conventions in 2022 or maybe 2023?
So our main two is obviously we run the Gen Con store, so we're always going to be at Gen Con. And then PAX Unplugged is again a no-brainer because it's local and we want to keep, and that's the PAX board game show. We'd like to expand into going to other PAX, but as of now, right now, just due to just funding and time, it takes a lot of time to pull off a show correctly. And a lot of that time I would like to get, really focused in the short term on getting more product out to kind of build up the brand before we start expanding kind of our presence. Because we're not
There's a difference between what we want to do and what we can do.
It's hard for me because I ran all of our events at TG for so long, and then I'm like, I want to go to all the shows I've wanted to go to and really expand that out.
Or the ones that we used to be going to.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I miss all these things, and plus
I
it's
know,
been
and
2
even
years
San Diego
since
Comic-Con.
last PAX for me. So when they
Right.
open up, it's like, hey, here's the rules for PAX East 2022. It's like, yes, I will follow all those rules. It's been 2 years. I miss people.
Right. In New York City Comic-Con, even San Diego Comic-Con, those places, like we can always try to get in and pull that off. It's just with the team going crazy to try to get everything out. We will be expanding our events presence. I am very excited to say that, just because that is like my life. I love going to cons, and I think that that's the best place to get a better read on how people react to the products. And that's probably some of the best feedback we get is during shows. So to us, it's more product research as well, rather than just selling a bunch of stuff to fans. We get to talk to them, find out ideas, see what they like, what they don't like, revisions in a live setting, so they know that we're also normal people too. We're not this huge conglomerate company that just doesn't listen to what they're saying. We want to know how to make this more of a community effort to build something new. And to bring a better offering is really what we're trying to do as well to get to that point.
Yeah, thank you both, Erin and Conrad. Since the meeting time is about to end and everything, from the timer is ticking down, where can people follow you on social media, including the company account?
At RollACrit. So we are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Back on TikTok soon. So
are you going to be doing anything Discord wise?
So that's something that we're currently looking to expand into, because
Okay.
we know that that's a really great place for people to collaborate and just have a fun time connecting. And there's some really unique things that Discord's doing, and we think there's an opportunity around that with Heroes of
Yeah.
Arcadia as well. So it's not something that we have currently set up. Like there is a channel, but it's definitely not something that we have the ability or bandwidth to pay attention to the way that we want to yet. And that's why it's so important to us. Just like
Yeah.
with the event side of things, we want to make sure that the experience that we're offering through that is going to feel like the community we want it to be. So, and Discord's really good at building communities like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, again, thank you both for the time and everything. It was a pleasure talking to you about your games, your upcoming ideas with products, of what you can say, and future events. But yeah, thank you all.
No,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.